Welcome to the Tarp Report with Sam and Jess. Hello. Welcome to the Everything is Fine episode.
Everything is fine.
To the Tarp Report with Sam and Jess.
Everything is fine. There's nothing. We're not going to talk about it.
Nothing.
Okay, but here's what's happening.
Nothing's wrong. Everything is fine. Everything's fine in Jess's life. Everything's fine.
Everything is so good.
Fine in my life.
I didn't throw my phone in the car earlier.
I love the idea of throwing my phone.
I hate it.
We can relate.
Do you? I can't throw my phone. Well,
I don't do it, but I want to.
I threw it and then but I half-heartedly. I gave up halfway through.
I was trying to do something. I was dealing with 2 or 3 different messages going back and forth yesterday. Mm-hmm. And Brittany thought it was funny to put her finger close to my butt. And not in my butt, Trey, calm down. Trey looked up at me. He thought I was doing stuff. He goes,
near your butt?
Yeah, she's
your
joking.
your gooch.
Hovering over your butt?
Just
how are you positioned?
I was laying on my belly on the bed.
Okay.
Which wasn't a good idea because I had a full belly. And so
then she was playing with your butt.
I wasn't naked. She was just
butt.
How was she playing with your butt if you weren't naked though?
She wasn't playing with my butt. It was
ooh, I'm
harmless.
not touching you. I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you.
Yeah, but I got so upset because I was trying to focus on all this stuff, and I was like, you're not being fair to my ADHD.
You can't touch my butt.
You can't touch my butt while I'm trying to text people.
So one time, Joshua, we were driving home from somewhere, and Izzy was 2 in the back seat, and she was drinking a milkshake, and I just remember he was reaching back, and he was trying to get her to give him the milkshake, and she wouldn't. And he was like, "Come on, give me some milkshake." I was like, "Oh, you're fighting with a 2-year-old over some some milkshake. You're a grown man. What are you doing?"
Yeah,
you should be embarrassed.
It's beautiful, innocent
Yeah.
beauty.
He just wanted a little milkshake.
Yeah. I am so surprised by the tenor of you after the podcast started.
Well, I'm a professional, if nothing.
That's great.
Okay,
That's great.
Yeah, I suck. Unlike you, I don't cry in public.
You know, Jess, I swear to God.
I can suck these tears right up.
Jess wants to continue to cry shame me. That's her right.
I did get a little emotional. Yeah, that is my birthright.
Yeah. When did you get emotional?
I won't tell you. Well, it was.
Anyway, thanks for listening to the Tarp Report with Sam and Jess. Where Jess
that was about as vulnerable as I get.
So, for the record,
this one time I cried.
On this episode of the Tarp Report with Sam and Jess, Jess did cry. About what?
Who knows?
Who knows?
It's a mystery. Maybe you'll find out in episode 25.
I can't. I cried yesterday just a little bit.
For what?
I don't know.
Good or bad?
I cry so much it's hard to remember what I cry about. Yeah.
They all blend together.
They all blend together, much like tears themselves.
Yeah.
I just making soup.
That's
Making sad little tear soup.
No, I'm sad about. I'm overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just acting out.
Yeah.
I'm controlling what I can and blaming what's easiest, and instead of just probably stretching more and maybe drinking water.
Yeah. There's stuff that I don't talk about on the podcast because it's not professional for my comedy career. There's stuff that we literally can't talk about, and that's okay too.
Yeah.
I mean, we've gotten in trouble for this before where I had the bright idea to talk about.
We didn't get in trouble.
Comedy stuff. We didn't because we didn't post the episode. We wasted our time and we wasted our money.
No, I think that it's just, it's just trying to do, well, we've talked about it, just trying to do everything. And then right now, my comedy schedule is it's non-existent. And I'm just feeling I'm feeling like a failure in the thing that I want to succeed the most in. Like, I don't care about booking. I mean, I do. It's wonderful and it's great.
Yeah.
And it's an opportunity, and like, I love doing it, but like, I want to do comedy and, you know, doing all of the other stuff. And, you know, it just takes away from being able to promote myself.
Yeah.
And being able to, because it takes a lot of fucking time to like write emails and
Not
like,
just
to reach out and figure out who's doing shows
Yeah.
and where, you know, where can I go next? Where can I, within like what's within driving to like,
Yeah.
you know, figuring all that stuff out. And like, you know, if I'm not reaching out to people, like, there's nothing.
Yeah, it's not just time, it's also like it takes up your emotional like capacity and
Right.
like your brain power.
Right.
That if you have, you know, 60 minutes in an hour and 30 of those minutes are dealing with stuff that's not your deal and has nothing to do with you, then
Right.
yeah, that sucks. And we're also dealing with, like, for those of you, you know, I know that when we started this podcast, we're like, oh, we're not going to talk about comedy.
I think
And
we
then
literally do that.
I know.
Always.
It
We always
never
say we're
works.
not going to talk about comedy. We're not going
gonna have guests.
And then as soon as, well, we also say as soon as the podcast starts, we're like, okay, we're not going to talk about it. Okay,
We're
I'm
not.
not going to talk. We're not going to, whatever it was, we're not going to talk about it.
Yeah.
And then we're like, okay, except I am going to tell you this part.
You,
I am going to say this. I will mention this.
in my defense, I don't
do it,
think
do it, do
I brought it up.
No, it's totally my fault. But I feel like you know, we just need to talk about it, and I'll probably feel better too.
I don't think it's possible not to talk about it at all.
Right.
But there's no reason to go into specifics because honestly, the specifics don't matter because the specifics are always the same when it comes to the inherent pain of being involved in stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
Because I understand this pain. There are things where me and you are different, and there is a thing where me and you are the same.
Right.
And that is we both want to be in that shining city on the hill of performing live stand-up comedy in front of great crowds.
Right.
That's what we want, right? And we're both on different places on this hill.
Trying to figure it out.
And everything that's not that fucking sucks
Yeah.
a lot. Okay?
Yeah.
And
No matter how good it is. Even though like it could be
Yeah.
great things, because like I love the bar,
yeah, I shouldn't say it
But
sucks a lot.
but it feels like that.
Yeah.
Like and I also know that you and I also have an sort of all or nothing mentality, like, which is, you know, an addiction. But like, you know, it's like where it's like everything's either really really great or it's really really terrible.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I think that my downs aren't as down as they used to be.
Yeah.
But they've been a little bit more down lately,
Yeah.
for sure. And I don't know what's causing that.
Do you think it's because the highs are so much higher?
I don't know.
Or maybe it's because you have more to lose?
Yeah.
Maybe. I was talking to somebody the other day where I'm realizing, like, the bigger my comedy career gets, like, the more real estate I am occupying. Like, it's like, oh, I go here and I go here now and I go here now and I know this person and this person and this person. We're all working together. And there's upkeep. Like, I have to, like, water these gardens.
Massage those relationships.
Yeah, and I have too many fucking gardens. But I'm like conflicted between like loyalty and opportunity. You know, like
Yeah.
like there's people who I love that have helped me a great deal, and honestly doing their comedy shows doesn't make a lot of sense to me right now.
Yeah.
You know, but luckily most of those folks are cool enough to know that like there are opportunities for us to work together. And I don't know if that's what it's like for you right now, you know. And like I said, no specifics are needed at all, but you're putting in a lot of work. This is what I hear you saying, is that you're putting in a lot of work and you're not feeling
Yeah.
you're not in that shining city as much as you want to be.
Yeah. Well, that's not completely true. I'm in the, I don't do well with feedback. Like doing stand-up comedy is a one-person gig. You're going to get feedback and stuff like that. Like people can, critique you and tell you, you're not a good comic or whatever. But like with booking and there's so much more that people can have their input on and like have an opinion on. And then, if I'm not doing a good job, then they're going to Dane, who has now, is now the role of my boss, which is weird. And so I'm like, it's just a lot of critique that I'm like trying to figure out how to navigate through, and like, people getting upset because I'm not picking their shows and not letting them produce shows at the bar. And it's like, well, I don't have enough days for everyone, but, and so it's a lot of noise.
Yeah.
It's a lot of noise, and it's a lot of like figuring out like who to quiet down. And
I get you completely. Because every time a headliner comes, like through Nate Jackson's, they'll be like, "Oh, who are you? What do you do?" And they'll try to like steal me from him right away. Oh, how much would it cost to fly you out and do this? Or like I've had people ask me like, "Oh, can you edit your stuff like exactly how you do Nate's?" I'm like, "Yo, like,
yeah,
I don't know if I just really like Nate or your stuff isn't just that funny. I don't know. There's a lot of conversations I didn't think I'd have to have, like with bigger people, because they'll try to take advantage of. Yeah, I don't know. It's a lot of figuring out, though. It's a lot of figuring out.
They see an
opportunity.
I think more than them, like I don't think they're necessarily trying to take advantage of you. They see an opportunity, and I think that's similar to what Jess is going through. Is that there's an opportunity,
right?
Like there is, but the same way that you want to perform, like we're talking about, like that shining mountain on a hill. Of those hot crowds, is that that's what every other comic is trying to get there too,
right?
And
what's happening right now is exactly every other comic is trying to get to that hill, and what's happening right now is I can't run as fast, because I have other things that are weighing me down, whereas other people who are just doing stand-up comedy, if they're doing it right, they are able to go faster than me. Like, because they're able to do more and just focus on where they should, realistically, they should be able to.
You want to be bugging bookers, and you don't want to be a booker
being
bugged.
Exactly. Like, I'm trying to figure out exactly, and I literally all day, every day.
Do you have a media guy like how? Well, I mean, I'm Nate's media guy here, but I work for Nate Jackson LLC. Do you have a guy there at your venue?
Yeah, Dane.
Dane, he does everything?
Mm-hmm. Dane does everything.
He sells the sets and everything too?
Mm-hmm. Oh, no, he doesn't. We haven't gotten there yet. But we have a guat that comes in, Brent, who...
Yeah, he does good video too.
Who does video?
He actually does.
Because I know that stuff. It's the internet, so it helps.
Yeah.
So
you and Brent have different styles, but it's on par with your stuff. Like he does a really good sound, good video. He does a good job. But I don't know. I guess
it's just figuring it out, and
it sucks and it's scary and it's frustrating.
Change is always scary though.
Yeah, it's just figuring it out. Like, I just have to, figuring out how to continue to do all of it, and not like it's easy to compare out, and like instead of just focusing on the cool shit that I am doing, it's like, okay, but I'm not doing, because like this weekend I got to take my kids to Wenatchee.
Yeah, I know what show you did too.
Yeah, and like
that place is special. That is a
so
special
gorgeous.
Comedy show.
So gorgeous.
Who is headlining?
Chase Murphy. She's from Louisiana.
Oh, Chase. Isn't it? Is it Chase Murphy or Chase? I think it's Chase Myers. Isn't it?
Myers.
Yeah,
Chase
yeah.
Myers.
He's super funny. Super good guy. Yeah.
You looked at me crazy on the Chase part, not the Myers part.
Well, I know a few different Chases, and there's my old buddy Chase Roper, who is not doing that much comedy right now at all, and then Chase Myers, who I know, who is
Chase
a
Myers. Very
professional,
funny.
very funny,
Very funny.
and I think that's all the Chases I know. But the Chase Murphy was a Chase that
Chase
I'm unfamiliar with.
Yeah, Chase Murphy doesn't exist. That's his
Which,
alien.
once I checked out, makes sense. Yeah, that place,
Super gorgeous.
yeah, cozy comedy, run by Mark and Travis. Great guys. I work for them quite a lot. The only people I work for, Ty, Boyce, and Solo Wit, and I work for Cozy Comedy quite a lot.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
Yeah, they're great guys, and they book the most stunning outdoor show that I have ever seen.
Yeah, they fool you a little bit because they're like, oh, it's at a pizza place, and then you get there and it's like the most gorgeous pizza place. Over, it looks basically like, like you're at the gorge.
You're in the gorge, yeah. You're looking over the Columbia River. There's cliffs. I remember being on stage and being routinely distracted by little whiffs of clouds, and I usually get distracted by blinking Coors Light signs.
Yeah, not this time.
People that refuse to turn the TVs off, so I'm watching
No TVs.
Wimbledon or something while I'm trying to perform comedy.
It was windy. We thought the sign was going to go. But
Oh, really?
It was, but it was so perfect. And it was the first. And
Good
there was
crowd too, huh?
Great crowd.
Yeah, that room is great. It's in Quincy, right?
Yeah.
And you stayed in Wenatchee with the girls. Did you guys find a good swimming spot?
There was one place that's like right by the water or right by the hotel, but it wasn't like where we went. It was like more of like a swimming hole, but it was fine. It was great.
Yeah.
And it was like 100 degrees, so I knew they weren't going to last very long anyway.
Yeah.
And then the girls, they didn't tell me before we left, but the girls did have a no fish in the water requirement.
Yeah, I noticed that when we went. So
makes it tough.
Me and Jess hung out. I took Jess and her girls and my boys to the Toutle River.
Yeah.
And was immediately made aware of the differences between our children.
Of boys and girls.
Yeah. Oliver is jumping off a cliff into the water. And Jess's kids will not get into the water.
My kids are jumping.
The water was knee high deep, and I was escorting them around until finally we found the key. I have this little tiny inflatable boat, and they loved it when I pushed them around in the boat.
They just got in the boat.
They were like, "This is
life of
great."
Luxury. They're like, "Over there, sir."
Yeah, they were like, "This is great."
I didn't know how to swim till I was like 8 or 9.
Yeah.
Like my mom would have me on the military base, how they have like the gym. And I'd always be like crying with the floaties, and they'd be telling me like, put your hands like that and swim, and I'd just be sinking. But like the only time I learned how to swim was when I was alone with like good friends who I was like sleeping over at their house. And they're like, jump off the roof, man. Like we got you. Like that was the only. If it was because my dad would have been like, just jump, damn it,
Jumped.
You know how it'd be with dads, but like when you're with your friends, I think it's or close ones.
Well, yeah, you don't want to drown in front of your friends. It's embarrassing.
I don't think you can. They're your friends.
I don't remember not being able to swim. I don't remember not being in the water, especially in the summer. Like my dad fished growing up, and I would routinely go in these cold ass rivers downstream of my dad and like swim in these rivers. And like I love the rivers around here. I think it's like the coolest thing in the world. And I think that like you have to put up with some bullshit living in Washington State, like especially in the winter, and it'll rain for like a month straight or whatever. And like if you don't take advantage of those rivers during the summer when it's hot, that's like you're leaving money on the table.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Wasting time.
Yeah.
You don't have a lot.
I want to take you guys, I want to do a series where at least one other time this summer, I want to take you guys to another spot.
Yeah, and see.
Because they can get used to it.
Well, the thing is they grew up, like when we were in Kentucky, like literally we spent every single, like we would go from the gym to the water. Like they just forgot. They just forgot.
Yeah.
but they'll be fine. Yeah.
Yeah, there's lots of good spots.
It's just hard to play video
Neither
games.
neither of you have iPhones, huh?
No.
So I was gonna say we can do like a mobile episode, like one time, like
Oh,
At the river?
I mean, if we had a like if we had a better camera, like because mine only shoots in 4K, but like we can just bring like a smaller recorder and then just like be like by a river and just like
beach
actually just be like just
episode.
talking, just like
You
chopping it
know,
up.
what we might want to do actually.
Cause I can go. I have my own stuff. Like we can go mobile.
I haven't talked to Jess about this, but maybe we can work out a deal with you and we'll throw you some extra dough because there is this Orcas Island gig coming up. You need to. This guy's trying to
I
message
did.
you.
He did message me. I
Yeah.
messaged him.
Did you message him back? Can you do it?
He didn't give me a date. He said he just wanted to watch my tape.
Did you send him a tape? Okay, cool. Hopefully you get it. So that would be with me, and Orcas Island is beautiful, and we'd have to take the ferry over there. We'd have to leave pretty early, but we could roll out there, record an episode of the podcast, and then I need footage. So if you could video, all I need
It's like
is
beer rolls and everything like that.
Yeah.
He
you
said he
could
only
just-
works for Nate, though.
No.
He'll
like,
do little shit,
If
yeah.
Nate's out of town, like
Yeah.
no, like
yeah, and you
don't
don't
be
mind.
tripping. Yeah, I don't mind.
Yeah,
I've never been on. I've only been on the ferry to Alcatraz. Like when you go around Alcatraz, is that a ferry?
Sorta.
Sort of. But that's the only one I've been on.
That's more like a tourist
Yeah.
thing. This is where we would go from Anacortes up to Orcas Island and the San Juan.
Well, that'd be fun. That'd be
Yeah,
good.
it would be
some
dope.
footage.
Do you need your passport for that?
No.
If you want, you can forward me the email and then I'll just ask Nate.
We don't know yet. I got to
Yeah.
see. I have a date for it. It's on a Wednesday, so I think you can probably do it, but we'll have to see. I don't think there's too much going on. I know that Jess, we were kind of late getting in here today. We got about 20 minutes.
I was late.
It's okay. You haven't been late in a long time and you weren't that late.
What's your good news?
I got my blood work back.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And go on.
So my blood pressure is down enough.
Nice.
My cholesterol, my regular cholesterol, is down a little bit.
Nice.
And my triglycerides, which is what they were like more worried about, has basically been cut in half.
Dang.
Yeah. And they said, keep doing what you're doing, take some fish oil, and call us in a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where you at, Trey?
Yeah. And so I'm,
I don't know what that was.
I don't know, it's the record scratching.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, so like the things that I did, what was it? Probably around the start of this podcast
Yeah.
have worked. So like
Starting working
just
out.
working out. I haven't really changed my diet that much,
Yeah.
but I think I can get away with it because as big as I am,
You need to eat.
like me going up a hill is different than other people going up a hill. I just burn more gas. I'm a heavier load.
And I think, I don't know, I could be wrong.
Don't make that face when I
could
talk
be,
about
I
my
could be
load.
wrong.
You
But
say load.
they say walking, like exercises your legs, like better than running sometimes. I don't know, like because if you think about it, you're bouncing when you run, and then if you walk, you're technically pushing every single time. So maybe I don't know.
I'm making a
Should
face
be
at you
running.
right
Yeah,
now.
you should be running.
And I think you're
You don't be
right.
running, Jess. You were like a fake Zumba instructor.
First of all, what? What?
Is that what you do? The CrossFit?
Even if it was Zumba, you would still have to know how to move your feet.
Oh my god!
You push off your toes when you're running.
Yeah.
It ties back in.
You
Did
push
remember
off
that time?
you push off your toes when you're running, and then you push up your heels when you walk.
You shouldn't be pushing off your heels when you're. How are you?
How are you walking up?
Are you
How are you
mall-walking?
walking uphill with no heels? Like you're just tiptoeing up the hill, or don't you roll up? No.
I want to see you do it.
It
need
ties
to
back
do it.
into what did you? There was a clip we put out, and it's like the same deal, Trey. Where
Yeah.
you
He's like,
told
she was a
Jess
Zumba instructor.
she was a Zumba instructor. She did CrossFit.
I was like, it's like Zumba but harder.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's Zumba. It's Zumba,
which
but
is
dancing.
CrossFit. I
or CrossFit.
love that.
Yeah.
I like it when they describe music and they'll be
Wildly
like,
wrong.
it's like Aerosmith, but they're from Chicago and they talk about shooting each other. It's like, no, like that's a weird way to describe drill music.
You go in a building in a studio,
Yeah.
and you have a mirror in front of you, and you got a dude yelling at you like Jess, like you do this, do that, and then
No. We don't think we have mirrors. We don't have mirrors in CrossFit.
no.
So point one wrong.
So it was just a blank room like this, just a whole bunch of people, music, sweating, dancing.
Nobody's dancing. You don't dance in CrossFit.
You're just jumping and.
You're doing like Olympic lifting.
Yeah,
Dang, that sounds way less cool than what you. Yeah, it doesn't sound any cool. Like it's not.
But
cool
there's no
anymore.
dancing involved. I can't dance.
What do you do? Squat and stuff.
You
Yeah.
squats, you do pull-ups, you do
Yeah, like
push-ups.
functional movements.
Yeah, there's like cardio stuff you do,
Yeah.
like you'll run around the block and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, well, shout out CrossFit then.
Everything's better now.
He's like, damn, that sounds kind of hard.
Fucking go.
That actually doesn't sound anything like Zumba.
I love it. You know what's weird is this is weirdly motivating me to continue working out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've
been trying to go for walks and stuff. Well, I've been really productive.
That's
I've
good.
been
personal
now,
life.
not the way that you described your walking.
Well,
It sounds
my personal
not
agenda,
productive at all.
agenda suffers a lot at work. Like my to-do lists are always good, like clients and stuff. But I'll get home and I'm like, damn, my room's a mess. Like I moved a desk in my room so I can like build a studio. I'm gonna soundproof my room. But like, nah, mental health was like going down for like a week because I would get home and then it's just a mess, and then you just
Trey,
you know.
you gotta take care of yourself, man.
No, I do.
Yeah.
Financially, I'm good. Everything, I'm good. But just like when it comes to, I didn't get new glasses for like 2 years.
Yeah,
you
man.
know, and stuff like that. Like car, like I'm gonna fix it today, but I'm getting on my stuff.
Yeah, because you're getting, man. That's the deal, man. You get older, and like
You're getting older. You're growing
Yeah.
up.
things
know.
take time.
You're not little anymore.
No,
No.
You gotta.
I was gonna say something stupid.
I'm glad you didn't. Good job. Good job.
Well, great work at the doctor.
Yeah, it was. I really could use that. It really made me feel good. I came home and my kids were screaming at each other about their chores. And
I just lowered my blood pressure.
and I told them, I was like, guys, my cholesterol is lower. And then Oliver's like, but he didn't clean his room and I shouldn't have to do extra today because he didn't do what he was supposed to do yesterday. I'm not doing it. And I'm like, oh, dang, man. Yeah, dang.
He
is
needs to
right.
have his blood
when-
pressure checked.
When Dad walks in the house, it's not like
No, not everyone is terrified. Remember, they're
Not
not terrified.
not
They're not
terrified,
afraid of
but-
him.
No, they have a healthy,
not terrified, but like
My kids
oh,
don't
well,
even know if I come in the door.
I don't have.
You're Jess though.
I try to be all the way honest with my kids, and like when I make mistakes, I apologize. And there are times like I still yell occasionally, and I do snap at them, and I'm somewhere in the middle. Like, obviously, like I don't put my hands on them. Like that's like a hard line for me, but
Yeah, you're way too big to be.
yeah, I've
imagine?
gone over the line with like, occasionally I've said like cruel things to my kids before. I've been like, and we had it's been tough because Brittany has a regular job and I'm home.
Yeah.
I'm home with them all the time. When I leave here, they're probably still sleeping, but when I
mine
get,
are.
they're gonna be there when I get home. And I'm going to San Diego tomorrow morning at 6 a.m.
That's the worst. The kids, they're always around.
It's hard. I want it it's just, I think it's hard for them and it's hard for me. And we want to save money by not putting them in Y Care. And they hate Y Care.
Is that like a private
No, it's like YMCA, like day camp thing.
Dang.
Yeah, they hate it, dude. It's so funny.
I hated it too though. It was so well, I was in El Paso and no one spoke English. So like
Yeah.
and my brother's
makes it tough.
my brother's black and my sister looks like Hawaiian. So like
Yeah.
people would just be looking at us like weird and I never liked that stuff. I would just go in like to the boxing class and just try to beat up kids.
I went to that's so crazy that your Y care had a boxing class. That checks
A
out.
lot of score settling going on.
The Y care, they talk about their time in Y care the way I talk about my time.
Wait,
like,
it's boys and girls club, right? Or is it two?
No, this is YMCA, but
okay.
it's a similar vibe. It's pretty much
right,
the same thing. They talk about Y care the way I talk about places I was like incarcerated. They're like, there was this one guy on the yard.
Yeah.
You know, I was like,
I think they talked about it on the podcast.
yeah, they do
did.
not like it.
It was a tough time for
What's
them.
an alternative for that?
Staying at home.
Because I remember my parents, like my dad, he went to work at 4:30 every morning and got home like at 7 p.m. And then like my mom, when she got her job, she got home like at 4 to 6. So it was just like, if the chores are done and dinner's cooking, then. But I don't know. We're older though. Like my parents would leave us home like at 4. Like it would be like I was 4, my brother's 5, my sister was 6 at the time. They'd just be like, all right, we'll be back.
Yeah.
It's like a 6-year-old. Like,
Yeah.
the heck? Like,
See, that's the thing.
I don't know what the alternative is though.
My kids, I'm fine with them spending like big chunks of time by themselves now. They're 12 and 10. They're fairly responsible. They
Yeah.
kind of hold each other accountable because they're both snitches. So like if any of the kids mess up, sometimes that bothers me. And
When
I'm
they
like,
snitch on each
man,
other.
I'm like, well, I'm
Y'all
just
know how to
like,
have
yo,
each other's
like,
back.
you guys, like, I'm on the computer or I'm trying to go to sleep a lot of times and they're still up in their room. And I'm like, if you guys didn't snitch on each other, you could sneak out and just eat all the junk food.
Right.
And like, we're not like measuring
possibilities
it. Like,
are
the
endless.
possibilities. I told him that one time. I was like, man, if you guys like just stop narking each other off. And I kind of want them to do that because
My dad
Team up
my
together.
dad would always tell me like, if I don't catch you, there's no reason to be mad at you. So if you're doing anything outside of the Caldwell house, don't get caught. And there's so if I don't catch you, there's nothing to be mad about, and technically nothing happened. So if you're gonna do something,
No crime committed.
'Cause every
out of
kid-
sight, out of mind.
every kid like does bad stuff, but it's like, are you gonna go home smelling like cigarette, or are you gonna like put lotion on your face and wash your hands and chat, like stuff like that? Like
be mature about.
be much like don't get caught. Just don't
Yeah.
get caught. Because if you're getting caught, you're messing up. Like that's
You're messing up twice.
twice. you
That's
know.
like if my dad said if you're gonna get into a fight, you better not lose
Yeah, don't come home and lose.
because you're gonna get your ass beat twice.
twice. I'm gonna take you. I'm back.
yeah, it's good parenting.
It is really good parenting.
I think it. Yeah, because whenever I would ask my dad, like, can I go outside? Same answer every time. Like, I don't care. Like, did you do your chores? Yeah. Do you have A's and B's? Yeah. Do you have a ride there? Do you have a ride home? All right, I don't care. That was it. Like,
There's times when my kids they ride their bikes to the store down the street and stuff like that. Like I don't want them to be sheltered.
that's good. That's really good though.
Me and Jess had a talk, what was it, like a week ago, about the direction of the podcast and how we're
the
both
direction of the
feeling.
podcast
And I want to say that I really had a good time today.
today. That's good because I wasn't sure how I was gonna
I
go.
like the vibe of this podcast.
Yeah, it was cool. Well, there's like heavy shit going on, but also like there's these moments where like, you know, when we talk about like that shining mountain on the hill, like recording a podcast, this should be something that we enjoy, isn't it? And I think like if we enjoy it, but the best way to enjoy it is like I got to make sure that I'm doing the work. And speaking of doing the work, I wrote jokes. I wrote
shit.
6 jokes.
That one,
That's the first time in a
that
while.
clip, was it last episode that we were riffing for like 20 minutes, like in the beginning?
Yeah.
I'm down to like, because I'm really good at making like the verticals.
Yes,
not
please.
saying yours are, but like I can make a couple.
Yes,
Like,
that would be awesome.
Like I'll make like one for free, and then
yes.
I could
see.
throw you some extra dough this month.
no. Like,
No, I can
'cause-
do what I want. We'll talk
Take
about
one
it off
for
air.
free.
We'll
Yeah,
talk
but
about it.
I'll take one
I'll
for
work
free.
on it at home.
Okay, I'll talk. We'll talk
It'll
about it.
look dope.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to do? Because Jess has got it. We got to get out of here.
Let me do number one.
You want to do number 1? Okay. This one actually, it's got a weird word in there. I don't know. I don't know if Jess would know this one either.
Probably not.
I recently went from rotund to rotunda. That's how fat I am.
A rotund to a rotund.
Rotund. Do you know the word rotund?
No, like the rotundra.
See, this is I did a big vocabulary joke.
Rotund.
Rotund is a name for someone who is very round and large. And rotunda is a large round part of a building.
I didn't know what that was either. A rotunda.
Cool.
Okay.
Good thing I wrote a fun smart people joke.
Maybe do that one. Maybe around people who are like construction or something. Damn. Number 2, my cholesterol is down, which is good news because I really didn't want to die before I got to see the oceans boil.
Yeah, there's global warming.
Oh. It's a global warming joke.
I know.
Ocean boiling.
Yeah.
I never was a snitch, not because of any type of honor or code, but because I was always too drunk and high to remember the names of criminals I knew.
Fair.
Very true.
Like, I don't.
You'd be like, you tell me who you got those drugs from.
I
And you can
honestly
walk
don't
out of here
know.
right now. And I'm like, I think it was Bill or Dave or...
Jess Anderson?
Where was I last
I might
night?
actually do that one on stage. That might have legs. Like
Where
just being
was
too
I?
dumb to snitch.
Yeah.
Whenever something bad happens in my life, I remember that one time when I was homeless. I got scabies, and the only person in my life that could put the medicine on my back was my mom.
That sucked.
Damn.
That sounds really lucky.
Scabies are like bugs under your skin, no?
Correct. Yeah. I got them from that girl.
Of course you did.
Jesus. Me and my wife just celebrated our 12-year anniversary. That's a lot of farts.
You know how many times she's heard me fart?
God.
These last two jokes.
You guys, yeah, that was there. What? Ugh.
Has
Yeah.
she ever wiped your butt?
No.
Ew.
Why would she wipe my
She
butt?
was doing it. She was doing it yesterday. Boing, boing, boing.
She wasn't doing
I'm not touching
that.
you. I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you.
Why would she wipe my butt?
Maybe you were hurt.
Yeah, did she ever have to do you?
Dude, how bad would I
Ew.
have to be hurt where I have to have somebody wipe my butt?
One time, someone had to give me an enema.
Yeah.
What is that?
An enema?
Where you put water in your butt.
Oh, a pill in your butt so that you can.
That's not an enema.
You
it's to
couldn't put it. You
water.
couldn't put it in your own butt, Jeff?
That's a
No, I
suppository.
Oh, yeah, suppository.
You can just
Not
like
an enema.
boop, boop.
If it was Robitussin, it'd be an enema. It has to be a liquid for it to be an enema. But you should put Robitussin in your butt.
I got really sleepy.
Yeah, it's like I had a cough.
I thought.
Jess was
I thought that's what they called tussin.
boofing Robitussin.
Okay. I'm about to go to San Diego and do comedy for a bunch of Navy guys, which is nice because if I do poorly, they won't be able to tell anyone because they're out in the middle of the ocean.
Very true.
Yeah.
I didn't write funny jokes, but I wrote true jokes.
Very
I
true.
wrote statements. That's great. That's awesome about San Diego.
Yeah, I'm
Performing
excited.
in the Navy.
I'm doing a show in Hollywood. Usually we're 2 weeks ahead, but right now this will be released in
Shit, we are
5 days.
behind.
Yeah, and so we're gonna have to make sure we do one on Monday or Tuesday, and then we'll have to pick a week where we do 2. But I was really happy with this, and you have
Yeah.
to go to work.
I do.
And
that
we're
time.
gonna get you out of here.
Yeah.
And
Cool.
good job, Trey.
Thanks,
sir.
everyone. Great work, team.